Okay, here we are. We're back, and welcome to episode 17 in season 2 of the Shadow Collective podcast. Here as always with my good friends Swampgrass and Andy Beats.
Hello. Ahoy, mateys.
How's it going, my friends?
Going well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Really happy to be here. Ready to do some Star Wars talk. Got a lot to talk about today.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Going good over here as well.
Excellent. Let's get right into it. I mean, we're here at the end of the year almost. We're in December. We've got Skeleton Crew that started up, so we're going to talk about that tonight, which is awesome.
Yep.
And we're going to start with a little bit of news. And we're going to start with some good news for today.
Nice to have good news. Nice to start off with good news, you know?
Yeah, love to hear it. First story is going to come right out of Jedi News, and it's going to show Dave Filoni confirming, finally, once and for all, that the Mandalorian and Grogu has wrapped, and he's getting ready to move on to Ahsoka Season 2. According, let's see, shows here, it says, speaking to Extra TV at the premiere of Star Wars Skeleton Crew last night at Disneyland, Lucasfilm Chief Creative Officer Dave Filoni confirmed that the filming for Mandalorian and Grogu had wrapped and that Ahsoka Season 2 was his next project. It's really all it says here. It's great news on its own. Happy to hear it. I mean, because if that's done, we get into post-production. Now we know we have a movie that is complete almost and ready to go. We're definitely going to see a Star Wars movie in a movie theater. I'm excited. How about you guys?
I mean, absolutely. I mean,
yeah, this is awesome news.
Great news, because I mean, it's nice to have this kind of news rather than the other kind of news that we've been having lately. So, nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, even last time how we had time before last time where we had news that it wrapped and then news that it hadn't wrapped and there was confusion. So glad that's wrapped.
Yeah.
Glad the wrapping is wrapped. That has wrapped. Yeah. No, it's definitely good news. I mean, again, like this is already something that we knew that was going to be coming out, but for sure to have it confirmed that it's completed filming now that they're in the post-production stuff. That's and I mean, I'm sure there may be some reshoots, possibly. You never know. Like, who knows? But they have a whole year to figure it out, I guess, next year, right? Because it only comes out in 2026.
Well, I think they were saying a lot of the reshoots were what was happening now, and that's the reason that it took so long. Which I'm hoping that's the case. Which
I'm hoping too. Yep. But you never know in post production, right? They could be going through some editing and then be like, "Oh, hey, you know."
And totally understand that. Yeah.
Right? They got a whole year of doing that kind of stuff until it comes out in 2026. So.
Exactly. The other story that was attached to this actually comes out of Star Wars Newsnet, and it speaks about Ahsoka Season 2. And they're saying that basically it's going to film fully in the United Kingdom next year. And apparently Lucasfilm won't be filming any shows in LA for the foreseeable future. Not sure what the deal is there, but let's get into the story. Since here, Ahsoka Season 2 will be headed to the United Kingdom to film its second season, this move also coincides with something surprising. For the first time since Lucasfilm pushed for creating live-action shows for Disney Plus over 6 years ago, there are no shows in production for their Los Angeles sets at this time. IndieWire broke the news of the change in venue for the show's production, which is a bit surprising, given that the first season was shot fully in Los Angeles. With no new series announced and all other series having ended, Ahsoka Season 2 is presently the last live-action Star Wars Disney Plus show that is set to film. Unlike the first season, which was filmed entirely on volume sets, Ahsoka Season 2 is expected to use a greater variety of filming techniques, which may explain the decision to move the production overseas. This gap for productions on the Los Angeles side may coincide with delays in the start of filming for some of the many live-action film projects that they've announced, but haven't moved forward with yet. Whether or not that's the case, the lack of immediate plans for filming shows may signal a strategic shift for Lucasfilm, as they may prioritize developing fewer live-action series going forward. Lucasfilm sources indicated that more television series are in development, but as it stands, Ahsoka is Lucasfilm's only show that is actively in the pre-production stage for now. Likewise, it is unclear if Lucasfilm plans to compensate for this live-action content flow deficit for Disney Plus by developing more animated content to replace it, or if there will be a reduced overall content flow for the streaming service. IndieWire sources indicate that this move does not signal the end of filming future live-action productions in Los Angeles, in favor of moving all future productions to the United Kingdom, with no decisions about the future of Star Wars productions having been made at this time. I don't have an issue with this. I mean, I am happy to see them deciding to move on to other ways of producing shows. The volume sets, while I liked them at first, I think they kind of started overdoing it. But I don't have an issue with them using it. Just not everything has to be that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It was cool that it was something new in the beginning, but now, as much as it has helped out with stuff, I'm always excited when they use practical stuff. I mean, I love prop work and I love puppets and I love whatever, right? So anytime I feel like they're going to be filming on location more, I think that adds a little bit more depth to the show, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know, this whole thing where they're saying they don't know, there's no decisions about the future Star Wars productions being made at this time in the United States. Like, I feel like there's a potential for next year that they're going to drop another animated thing just out of the blue. I think what it sounds like to me. Like, there's a huge gap, and I know they're focusing more on movies. Movies seem to be where they're heading right now, so maybe it's just we're going back to that era where there's going to be a little bit more gap between stuff, and they're focusing more on movies, where you have like a movie that comes out and so and so and so and so and so and this and all that stuff. But an animated thing sounds like they might be dropping something next year, maybe.
Yeah, we did have rumors of potential something with Asajj Ventress, something with Rex. Things like this have been around the rumor mill, so we could see something like that. A continuation of some story after Bad Batch ended there, something like that.
I'm not sure about, like, because Dave Filoni's focusing on Ahsoka, so I don't think
Yeah,
it's gonna have
that's
anything to do with Filoni. I just think it's going to be another one of these like tales of things going to be dropping again. I feel,
Yeah.
maybe, or what's the other one there? The Japanese studios, is that next year? Maybe
Visions is next year, yes.
Visions. So
Yeah.
maybe Visions
Yeah.
could be a thing next year too, right? So
I mean, the only
it is.
thing I would say is, I know while Dave Filoni was involved with Bad Batch, he wasn't like completely involved. So there could be work on something. He's just giving input here and there as necessary.
I can see that. Yeah.
But yeah, I could see them going the way of animation more in the next couple of years. I think we're really gonna have to wait until Celebration before we hear anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I can't believe that they're completely done with Disney Plus. I mean, they've had some success with. I mean, given they've had some big failures as well, but I think that just comes down to the writers and who you bring in to do the projects. So
Financially, though, it's all successful. Even the failures are very financially successful.
Well, that's it, right? Yeah. I
Yeah.
I don't think they're not totally done with Disney Plus. Obviously, like the platform doesn't seem to be slowing down at all anytime soon. It's just I think the Lucasfilm part of it is going to be slowing down a little bit with the releasing of the shows and whatnot. But I mean, this is a good opportunity for animation to pop in for the next whatever. Like, the success of the animation stuff has been a little bit more successful, I find, than the live action stuff, in my opinion. I mean, maybe I might be biased because I love the animation. That's my thing, but
nothing like that.
Yeah.
It seems like it's just more. I don't know, financially successful, but I mean, it's
Yeah, I think
viewership worth. Like, I think it's
yeah.
it's more successful than most of the live action stuff that they put out.
Yeah, I think I heard that like Bad Batch dropped off a bit in the third season there as far as
Yes.
viewership, but other than that, it was, fairly successful. Not as successful as the Acolyte.
No.
Weirdly.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, how successful was that show?
Yeah.
Did you want answers for that?
Not
Let's not get into that.
yeah, not very successful, but financially did break a lot of records. So.
But yeah,
spending wise.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean viewership wise.
But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. They're not. I can't see them giving up on Disney Plus. I mean, we just covered it a couple episodes ago, how they've put up their best numbers. What was it? Their best quarter ever.
Yeah.
Not lately. Not to mention they've found a way to integrate Hulu in, and even in this past week, I don't know if you guys have looked at Disney Plus, but they actually just integrated ESPN into Disney Plus. So, I mean. Yeah, so you can actually watch ESPN live. But that being said, I mean, having all that integration into their Disney Plus setup, I can't see the situation coming up where they seem like they're all in on getting this thing to go. So how to not bring any more Star Wars shows to the table almost sounds foolish. Unless you're gonna start making made for Disney Plus movies, which please don't do that, because
we're finally starting to creep back into the theaters here, like not slowly, but with the Star Wars stuff, anyways. Right?
Yeah,
we're about to have a new, movie coming in the next year or so. So, I really don't want to see made for Disney Plus stuff anymore. To be honest,
yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't mind TV shows, I don't mind one-offs.
Right.
Yeah, just that's one route I hope you never take. But that being said, I think anything else you guys want to add to this, or?
Oh yeah, we were talking about the LA thing as well. Yeah, it's good that they're. Just gonna add that it's good that they're not like limiting themselves to just one avenue of production. So I think that's, I don't know. I think that's kind of good news.
I mean, that volume thing. I mean, it's got to cost a lot of money to actually get that thing, keep it running. You know what I mean? And I feel like moving onto a location would be cheaper. Maybe, like, you know what I mean? Or
potentially, yeah.
It's got to be like there's got to be some reasoning. I mean, yes, it looks great and it works out. It works perfectly because I mean, you don't really know per se the difference, I guess, when you're watching the shows, but I don't know. I think it's like acting on a green screen. The actors, you got to be good acting on a green screen, things behind you, and it's just more practical to be on location with a lot of stuff, and it just looks, I don't know. I don't know if you can tell the difference, I guess, but it I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I think it does look potentially better, but also, yeah, just I think it's good that they're not throwing all their eggs in one basket with just sticking with the LA and all that. So yeah, it's good.
I mean, to me at this point, I would say, you know, it's gonna be nice to see them go back, do some things with practical sets, and just changing things up a little bit. But I don't want to see them get rid of this either, because
No.
it did make it possible to definitely make some ideas really come together. So I think there's a place for it. How they're going to make that work, I mean, especially if you're going to be shooting things between LA and, I believe they actually shoot in London in the UK. But
Yep.
I mean, that being said, having to go back and forth, that might be an issue. But I don't know. I mean, that's their production issues. So, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't see a problem with it. But yeah, let's get on to the next story. Who wants to cover that?
Yeah, I can read that one. I can do it.
Go for it.
Me, okay. This one is StarWarsNewsNet.com. James Mangold and Beau Willimon close to finishing a draft of Dawn of the Jedi. So director James Mangold has indicated that he and his co-writer Beau Willimon are nearing completion of a draft of their Star Wars script set in the Dawn of the Jedi era. James Mangold revealed the update to Deadline while promoting his latest film, the Bob Dylan biopic, A Complete Unknown. Mangold said the following about his work with Willimon. My partner and I have been writing it. I don't know what's next because we haven't gotten to the end of that process. We're trying to finish a draft. As it stands, the details about the future of this project are pretty vague. It's not clear who's starring in this Star Wars adventure or when it will be made, though last we heard the project is going well despite the lack of an established production timeline. Also worth noting is that James Mangold is also developing a Swamp Thing film that he is writing and directing for DC Studios at the same time that he's working on his Star Wars project, although he had stated that he was unsure which project will move forward first back in 2023. Momentum appears to be on the side of Star Wars, but only time will tell. This currently isn't the first announced Star Wars project that's stated to be moving forward without a clear production timeline, although it seems that Mangold's film, which concerns the origin of the Jedi Order, along with Dave Filoni and Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy's respective films, that in the midst of the era established by The Mandalorian after the Skywalker saga, respectively, are the biggest priorities for the studio after 2026, The Mandalorian and Grogu. Also complicating matters are the fact that Simon Kinberg is developing a trilogy of scripts set in the era that Obaid-Chinoy's movie is set in, possibly also including Daisy Ridley as Rey Skywalker in a supporting role. With any luck, Lucasfilm will present a roadmap for the franchise in the relatively near future. And it just says an undated, untitled Star Wars project is set to release on December 17th, 2027. It is not clear if this date will be reserved for the movie that James Mangold is co-writing and directing.
I mean, it fits. That's about the best I can say at this point.
I mean,
Yeah.
as long as it starts like filming, I mean, if you think like the Mandalorian Grogu movie was filming this year and it's only coming out in 2026, so you'd think that if it's coming out in 2027, then it should be starting to film next year, right?
Mhm.
So I don't know if that would be the movie that we're expecting to be starting in that one.
Yeah, we'll have to see how long the process ends up being from a draft being submitted to actually getting there, because this is saying that they haven't even submitted it yet, right? So
Right,
it's
yeah.
still
They're
still
not even
quite
done. They're not even done the draft yet.
yeah.
Right,
So
so
it's got a ways to go.
I think so. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think that's the 2027 slot.
I
One.
mean,
Unless it starts moving quickly, we'll see, I guess.
I mean, to me, the one good piece of news is we're not hearing that Kathleen Kennedy threw the script back at him and said, "I don't like it, and I need you to change it to include this, and this."
Not
So
yet.
no, not yet, but
Well,
They haven't given the draft to her yet.
right,
Yeah,
but
that's
we're not
something
hearing that
still
either.
working on
So
it.
so I mean,
Yeah.
at least that's. I'd rather hear we're still working on it, we're trying to perfect it, rather than, well, Kathleen Kennedy's already taken a look at part of it and didn't like it, and we're already working towards the idea of creative differences, quote unquote, already. And I mean, because it didn't feel like Lindelof had. I mean, I think he actually did finish the script, and they said no. The guy from Peaky Blinders, I don't remember them saying he actually finished the script that he had written. So I don't know if he had handed something in early just to get an idea, and they said no. But yeah, as long as I'm not hearing we're already having problems along that front, okay, it's good news to me. At least I know that there's some work being done on this movie.
I mean, I would suppose that there's probably some stages along the line of a draft that they have to submit, right, to
get
Kathleen
approval
Kennedy.
and
So
stuff.
maybe it is going well, right?
Yeah.
If it's still going like this, right? Because I mean, the ones that have left the movies, the writers that have left, it seems like you said, like they submitted something, Kathleen Kennedy would write notes, send it back. They would submit something else. She would write notes, send it back, blah blah blah, and then they couldn't take it anymore, right? So maybe this one, maybe he's taking the notes because she's still got to have her fingers in it, I would imagine, right? Like Kathleen Kennedy, like, but maybe Mangold is taking the notes, you know.
Yeah, I would say on this
critically.
project they probably have a little more leniency for like artistic creativity compared to the other ones, just because they're working on an era that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's probably their biggest advantage at this point. So that's a help. And the other thing that I'm looking at here, though, is they were saying, what was this, that their movie's not really a priority right now. So I think, considering the fact that they almost have a finished script, whereas Kinberg and Filoni are. I mean, Filoni's not even near getting started with his yet, because he's got to work on Ahsoka season 2 first.
He's got ways to go.
Yeah, I mean,
ways to go with that one.
And he's got to develop that story before he can even bring this all together. Though I'm sure he has an outline of what he wants to do.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, Kinberg, I can't see him having almost anything yet. The Obey Chinoy movie, in the Obey Chinoy movie, provided she's not being grouped in with Kinberg at this point, we've got nothing. No writer, whatever. I don't see how you can prioritize at this point. So why wouldn't you by prioritizing a Mangold movie that is almost nearly written? And if you can get that thing pushed out and get this movie out by 2027, yeah, I would say that's the priority. Let's go get that thing going and start planning for 2028, 2029 for whatever you're going to do with Rey. Because I mean, and actually, it might be better for the franchise in the long run, because I think the more distance you put between that sequel trilogy and bringing her back might actually be for the better. I mean, look at what it did for Hayden Christensen. I mean, people hated him, and you start pushing the timeline out there, give people a chance to watch the Clone Wars and see what the character really is, and now you can bring him back, and people are actually starting to give him the love that he truly should have gotten in the first place.
Right.
And maybe that's what they really need to do. Just put some space and some time there. Maybe people will come to appreciate the Rey character somewhere along the way, given it's going to be a little bit of a harder push because I think the sequel trilogy is still extremely not well received compared to the prequels. But hey, only time will tell.
Maybe they're waiting for Kathleen Kennedy to step down and then they do something after, like, I don't know.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, from what I know, her contract's up sometime middle of next year.
Yeah.
Who knows if they're gonna renew her, or maybe she's even making an announcement at Celebration saying this is the person that's taking over the helm, and here he is, or here she is, or whoever it is. So hopefully
Here they are.
Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, who knows?
Yeah, I think Celebration would be. I feel like she'll be around the first quarter, I think, of the year, and then we'll see what happens after Celebration, because it's going to be a big event this next year, right? So it's going to be huge. I think it's going to be like I'm stoked for it. I can't wait. Like, and I'm always excited for these, and it's just going to be huge. It's going to be lots of stuff coming down. But I don't see them like bringing out the new. I don't think they bringing out the new like president or whatever at Celebration. But who knows? You never know.
Actually,
we could all be being fooled, and she's going to be around for another 10 years. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
I don't know if she'll be around for another 10 years. She is getting old now. I mean, not.
Wow, she has been around for a while. Yes.
I mean, she might be around for another couple of years, but I mean, at some point, I'm sure she's going to want to retire and walk away from everything.
I think Bob was going to be before her, though.
Well, speaking of somebody who also wants to retire, I mean, he tried to retire. He tried to retire, and they wouldn't even let him. So,
Disney, like.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think that same thing's gonna happen to Lucasfilm. At least I would hope not. But yeah, that's about all I got for that one. Anybody want to add anything else to this one before we move on, or?
No, just looking forward to seeing how that project develops compared to some of the other projects, for sure.
Okay. Drop one to the next one, or?
Okay. Okay, so Star Wars Japan to release Grogu Cutest in the Galaxy animated shorts monthly starting today, December 6th. When was it? Yesterday?
Yep.
This is out of Star Wars Newsnet, by the way, guys. Fan of Lucasfilm's previous collaboration with Studio Ghibli may be pleased to learn that Star Wars Japan. I scrolled now. I lost where I was. Official Instagram account will be releasing 1 to 2 new Star Wars animated shorts titled Grogu Cutest in the Galaxy. Monthly beginning today. The shorts will also tie into Grogu themed merchandise line, which released today at Tokyo Comic Con. Check it out below. There's pictures on this.
Actually, if you go to Instagram, it's actually a little animated short, about 15 seconds long.
There you go. Check out is that Star Wars Instagram?
It's actually Star Wars Japan.
Oh, okay. Star Wars Japan Instagram. Check it out, guys. The world can't get enough cutesy Grogu content. However, I expect this decision is intended to begin a slow ramp up to Star Wars Celebration 2025, which is already less than 6 months away. In the first short, we see Grogu following at Din Djarin's feet, playing hide and seek, trying to catch butterflies, getting frightened by a Tuca cat, and generally being adorable. Animated Star Wars collaborations tend to be fun, low-risk endeavors that do quite well. This success led to a third season of Star Wars Visions set to premiere next year. Season 3 will include 9 new episodes and 9 different Japanese animation studios leading the charge. The studios involved are a mix of returning alumni and new creators. Need more live-action Grogu in your life? The Mandalorian and Grogu film has reportedly wrapped filming, as we said earlier, well on schedule, with Dave Filoni praising recent technological developments in the puppet animatronics department. Grogu fans have a lot to look forward to. Not work, guys. Don't worry.
There's
But
a lot
in
of work to do.
and making all those paper mache cute Grogus. Anyways,
Yeah.
but in the meantime, be sure to check out all these delightful little shorts, as we talked about on the Instagram Star Wars Japan.
Okay, I gotta throw it out there just because, I mean, it blew my mind. I went and looked at it. It's a little 15-second short. It's a cute little thing. I'm happy to see Studio Ghibli behind it. I mean, they did great stuff with Visions, so I can't see them really going wrong with a little 15-second short featuring Grogu. And if they're gonna do 10 of them going into Celebration, sure, add them along. I mean, it's not like we're looking at massive things. It's just something for little kids to look at and be happy. And it's great. But I've gotta say, there was a little note in the Instagram that kind of blew me away. And I'm gonna read exactly what it says. Because I did translate it out because I didn't know what it said. Obviously, I don't read Japanese. But it comes out in underneath the video. It comes out and says, "The cutest quote-unquote girl in the galaxy has arrived. A short anime filled with the mischievous and adorable Grogu's charm has arrived." Now, obviously, up to this point, I've always known Grogu as a baby. We call him Baby Yoda, but apparently he's a she. And apparently all this time we've been talking about Baby Yoda. Really, it's Baby Yaddle. And I'm a little surprised by this. I mean, there's been no mention of what Grogu is, boy or girl, in this whole thing. It's just Grogu is Grogu. So, I mean, not that I have a problem with it. I would just like to get some verification from Star Wars. Is this really what it is, or is Grogu really a girl or not?
I mean, why do we even have to go down this? Like, why does it matter? Like, to me, you know what I mean? It's just.
I'm not saying it matters.
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, like, why is it just coming up now? Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, and by that same right, it could just be something that they put in there as a joke. It could be, I don't know, but
to get the whole Star Wars fandom going, what? Like, you know.
But it's a big what? I mean, that's the thing.
It's a talking point, you know.
I mean, I think we have some. I'm curious now. I mean, is that really the case? Like I said, I'm not mad at it if it is.
One thing I'll say is, like, many of characters that we know and love are completely different in Japan, so it's very possible that they have a different version of Grogu than we do. And Also, it could just be a translation thing because it does say "quote unquote" girl, not just girl. So that would mean that it's a different word that it's translating.
And you
Like it
could be
might be
100.
just saying that because like in some other languages they have a male and female way of saying certain things, so it might be just saying that they said it in a feminine way, not specifically that that the word is girl. You know what I mean?
You could be 100% right. Like I said, I mean, you put it out there, so now I'm curious. It's like inquiring minds want to know. I mean, and it's not like just somebody came out and said it. This is actually from an official Star Wars site. So now, is this really the case?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Obviously, there's gonna be curious people. I mean, like you. To me, it's not gonna rate really. I'm not as curious, but I mean, if you're curious, yeah. I mean, whatever.
I mean, like I said, at the same time, it's not gonna be the end of the world if that's the case either.
I'm not saying that either. I'm just I'm like.
Hey, to some people, it might be the end of the world. I don't know. I mean,
it might be.
And it's a scary thought, but I just gotta ask the question. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And then again, I mean, like I said, at the same time, I also ran it through Google Translate, so it could be wrong.
Google Translate is 100% sure every translated.
It's perfect.
Time, right? It's
best
perfect,
translator in the world.
Hey, I don't have a lot of resources to work with for translation. All right.
No, I'm sure it mostly is good, right? But you never know. You never know.
You never know. Anyways, yes, it's definitely made probably the Star Wars world question now. Is Grogu boy girl? And I think it's gonna be you're gonna see it in a bunch of people are gonna talk about it, but that's okay. It's all right. But I mean, yeah, obviously this is a slow start, or they call it the slow ramp up towards Star Wars Celebration. So they get everybody excited about it, which we are, and it'll be interesting to see. I'm still gonna I want to watch these. I definitely do. Like I'm not saying I don't want to watch them. I think the animation's pretty cool. Which one did they do? Which one did Ghibli do? Which one was that one again?
I gotta pull it up. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Trying to remember. Like this is the animation right here, right? Like the Twitter thing or the Instagram thing.
Yes, absolutely. They're doing them on Instagram. So.
Oh,
based on the animation, it kind of looks like that one that did the story with the kids in the cave, but I could be totally wrong.
Kids in the cave.
Like on season 2, where they go in the cave and then they fight the Sith.
Oh,
that is in the wind.
That one.
Yeah, kind of looks like that animation, but I could be.
Okay.
That's just a guess. Total shot.
I might
in the
have
dark.
to watch these all over again. Visions. It's gonna give me I want to give me a clear view of what's coming back.
Yeah. Well, Studio Ghibli, I'm not sure. Like, I'm probably not right because that second season was not Japanese, right? So that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, according to they weren't involved in the first season. It was the second season they were involved in.
I was actually this whole time trying to look up who made those Disney shorts that are on, or sorry, those Star Wars shorts that are on Disney Plus, the Forces of Destiny, that just have little like Rey and BB-8 story and like stuff like that. But that actually looks like it was just Lucasfilm Animation.
Yeah, Studio Ghibli was definitely not behind that. I think there was I'm trying to remember who it was, but I think there was one of the Deputy Suze that was kind of helping out a little bit with the in Jedi Adventures, but I don't remember who. I'm sitting there looking things up, so
I think we all are.
yeah, it's like I don't want to sit here and keep things quiet around here, but I want to actually have answers also. But guess it's here. Disney Plus, High Republican. Yeah, produced by Lucasfilm Animation and Wild Canary Animation. I'm not sure.
If you look at images, there's like a ton of different Star Wars stuff that it shows like under Studio Ghibli. It's weird. So maybe they've collabed with them on a few different things.
Yeah, it doesn't look like any. It doesn't look like anybody else is working on it. And like I said, that's the least of what I'd be worried about here. So yeah, it doesn't look like any of them were working with them. But anyway, yeah, I mean,
season 2, yeah, it doesn't say anything about Ghibli.
but I mean, yeah, absolutely, definitely go check. I mean, it's like I said, it's a little 15-second feature. I mean, if they do 1 or 2 of them a month, I think people will be happy to watch them. It was fun. A little thing with Grogu, and I could. It's cutesy, like they said, so it definitely fits the whole Japanese cutesy kind of thing. So,
For sure.
yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But let's see.
It is what it is. It is. Studio Kamikaze. Color
Yeah.
Trigger.
Yeah, I'm not seeing Ghibli at all.
Yeah.
No, it said that
yeah,
maybe they worked through somebody. I don't know, but I remember
Yeah,
at one
when you search
yeah,
Studio
it's not
Ghibli
actually.
Star Wars and look at images, it shows all kinds of like images of like Obi-Wan Kenobi and TIE fighters and all this different stuff. So maybe they just worked with them on, random other shorts and things like that.
They've been a part of helping out with Tales of the Whatever.
I believe those were all just
Yeah,
phony
I don't-
looking.
Yeah, I don't think that came up when in those pictures per se, but
You'll get it, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, let's move on from this. I mean, because obviously we're definitely not getting anywhere right now with this.
We're probably boring everybody too. We're like, oh,
Yeah.
we're like, oh,
What the hell are these guys doing right now?
yeah,
this has been a live Google lookup.
yeah, right.
You
Yeah,
should.
so we're uninformed on the subject. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Apparently,
So what's next? What are we at?
Alright, give me 1 second. I'm going to pull up the next story here. This one came out of Star Wars Newsnet, and this was an interesting one for me. Basically, the High Republic lightsaber collection is a must-own for lightsaber enthusiasts and High Republic fans. As a person who has not really read that much of the High Republic, this is a book I want. I really want this book. But I'll get into the story first. Part of what makes the High Republic era so great is just how out there it is. You have space marauders called the Nile, a large carnivorous plants called the Drengir, and a swath of Jedi decked out in white and gold who talk a big talk and have the power to back it up. It's a unique and wild era in the Star Wars timeline, and funny enough, the lightsabers are a great reflection of that. In Star Wars The High Republic, the Lightsaber Collection, Inside Editions has collected all the lightsabers featured throughout the publishing initiative in one beautiful coffee table-esque book with many gorgeous renderings, awesome illustrations, and an abundant number of entries. This display book is a must-own for High Republic fans. The book itself isn't very tall, but it is fairly wide. Opening up the book, readers will find over 50 different lightsabers displayed horizontally. All lightsabers are printed beautifully and blown up large so that readers can notice all the minute details. And for special lightsabers, such as double-bladed ones or ones with large hilts, pages even fold out to display them extended in their full glory. Just be sure to fold the pages back in properly and be careful not to bend or crease the pages like I did. And they show a picture of one lightsaber where both sides of the pages fold out, and it's basically like a 4-page wide lightsaber. But getting back to the story, it says, but to my surprise, this book also serves as a character encyclopedia.
Yeah.
While the written descriptions aren't as in-depth as something like the High Republic character encyclopedia, they do provide the necessary background to demonstrate who wields these weapons. It also helps that the entries inform you of where these characters are from. That way you can go, oh, so that's where I've seen this character before. It's tough keeping track of who all these characters are. I could see that. Unfortunately, the descriptions of the lightsabers and their many intricacies can be a bit short. I'd also like to have seen a bit more analysis on why these lightsabers are designed the way they are and what that says about the characters. For example, Master Arkov has a golden hexagonal construction, nuts on the ends of his crossguard and pommel. I'd like to know what that can mean for the character and why that design choice was selected. I guess that's up to the interpretation of the reader. You get that for certain characters like Porter Engle, who has a cutlass, which, as the author points out, harkens back to the swashbuckling nature of the character. But I wish readers got more of that info because that's the info that actually insightful. Sorry for the pun. Right. All in all, I was extremely surprised at how useful and well put together this book was. I haven't even touched upon the lovely character art. It also puts faces on some of these characters you've only pictured in your mind. It's nice to have a display book that not only beautifully displays these unique lightsabers, but also displays all the unique characters behind this unique era. Star Wars High Republic Lightsaber Collection is one of the 3 new Star Wars books Inside Editions is offering this holiday season. And just talks about the other 2 books that are coming out. Like I said, I mean, I have not gotten into the High Republic really, other than like reading halfway through the first book myself, but this is right up my alley. Oh my god. I mean, I love looking at lightsabers. I definitely would want something like this.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. These other
I
books
gotta,
aren't too bad either.
yeah, I was gonna say that Star Wars Bestiary
Yeah.
Volume 1 looks amazing to me.
Well, to me, the Clone
I'm
Wars, the Clone
actually
Trooper one's
looking at
good.
maybe ordering it right now.
Yeah,
Very
that's
cool.
at the same time I'm looking here, and right on Amazon, this book is currently even on sale. Normally a $35 book, it's going for like $26 right now.
Oh, wow.
So it's like if you wanted to get a surprising little fun something for the holiday season, now's a great time to grab that. I mean, I'm not usually want to sit here and plug items, but I'm definitely buying it. How about you guys?
Episode is sponsored by
But yeah.
Yeah, here we have a strike on the postal workers. I don't know if that's Canada wide, Andy, but
is,
like
yes.
Amazon's pretty much the only thing that you can even use to get stuff delivered right now here, so it's pretty wild.
Well, all my Amazon stuff is still coming in on time.
Yeah,
It's,
that's
everything that the post like Canada or Canada Post does, right? But
mhm,
I think Amazon uses outside delivery stuff all the time, right? So
mhm. And they have their own network of delivery. trucks and all that, trains.
Yep. But yeah,
But anyways,
this book, this book, I would love to get this book. I mean, 50 different lightsabers displayed. That's just
it's pretty cool.
like
I
just
mean,
I don't know, man. That's a lot.
I mean,
Also,
Love
he
to fit in.
says in this article all the characters. I wonder if that's correct. That it's like all the characters. That
Well,
would
I
be worth
mean-
it. I would say just to learn all the characters.
50 lightsabers, 50 characters over quite a few books. I could see that. I could see it being possible.
Well, I mean, even if it's not all the characters, it's still a good portion of the characters that, and especially with, a small character encyclopedia with it, that's, for somebody who hasn't read the books or anything like that of the High Republic, like it's kind of I don't know, a nice like introduction. Oh, here's all the characters. And, maybe one or two gets you kind of excited maybe to pick up one of these books and read it, you know what I mean?
I mean, to me, this might just be me, but I mean, they might already even exist, but this leads me to the idea of, okay, you've come out with the High Republic lightsaber collection. I would love to see them come out with like a like a Skywalker saga lightsaber collection where you can have pictures of lightsabers throughout all of like Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, Count Dooku's lightsaber. I mean, we know what they look like, but just to have them in a book like that you can look at also, I would love to have something like that. That being said, the one I would really love, give me an Old Republic book like this, where you could have Darth Revan's lightsabers, Darth Malgus, Bane. I can't even think of half the names in my head right now from that era, and there's so many lightsabers that you could actually come up with here.
There was so much during the Clone Wars, right? Like it's the Clone Wars stuff even alone. Like you think of all the Jedi that were around then too. Just all the side characters and all the. I'm sure they got every character description that was, every Jedi that's popped on screen in the Clone Wars, like everything. So just imagine how many hilts and lightsabers and different oh man.
I mean,
it'd be like this thick, man. Like,
but I mean, you could. I'm thinking you could break it down. You could have like 3 or 4 different books, and you know what? I'd buy every one.
Volume 1, Volume 2.
I mean, I'm a sucker for this stuff. I would buy every one of them.
The Anakin volume where it's just the story of all the different lightsabers he lost and broke and all that.
Hey, and scarily, I would still buy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it would be cool. Yeah.
But I could, yeah. This I would love to, yeah. Take Star Wars, take my money. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, that bestiary book though, like I must say, it looks like really nice. I'm like looking at images of it. It's got really cool style. Like it's I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, it's like sketches. There's a lot of sketches and stuff. It's pretty cool. And it talks about like all kinds of different stuff, all kinds of different creatures. Pretty in depth there.
Yeah,
So
well,
yeah,
actually,
it looks really cool.
It gives them the whole like description of it all, and yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm actually looking at that here on Amazon too, and yeah, it's a pretty nice looking book.
Yeah, I like the like old timey writing of the letters as well. Like it looks right up my alley as far as the style.
But same with that, it's got beautiful animation throughout. I mean, just for what I see here, Banthas, Acklays, the Wampa, Loth Cats, Purgle, the Kowakian monkey lizards, Salacious Crumb.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I mean,
Purgle, the Convor. The Convor is cool too because we see them and they're very mysterious. So that'd be cool to learn about them. The little owl that follows Ahsoka around there.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's a good looking book. It reminds me of back in the day, before George sold it all. Back when he was doing but even before he was doing the prequels, and they would have like what would they call them, like the essential guide to the weapons, essential guide to ships, essential guide to characters, and those. I mean, there were some of those that I bought just because it was fun to read through them.
Yeah, and also as a kid, I really liked those books because they had a lot of sketches, so you could kind of learn how to draw some of these things as well from looking at those.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as I start to get more and more back into a lot of the book stuff with Star Wars, yeah, this is just a lot of stuff I look at and I say, yeah, I would buy it all. Lord knows I just don't have. I mean, I have the money for it all right off, but I'm gonna find. I'll find a way.
Mom and Dad, you don't get any presents this year. There's something really important.
Yeah. You buy the book, but you let them open it. So it
Right.
feels like they're opening a gift. Be like, hey, no, that's for me. Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't like it? Oh, I'm sorry. I'll just take this back for myself.
Take it back. Yeah. The thought was there. Yeah, thought was there.
I thought you loved Star Wars. I don't understand. Oh boy! All right. So, anything else you guys want to cover on that, or?
Just go buy it, guys. Go buy them.
Yeah, buy all the books. Let's go.
Yeah, hurry up before I snatch them all up. I guess.
At the rate, 40 copies of each.
Well, you did say we weren't giving gifts this year, so. All right, so let's move on. Let's take the next one on.
I'll get it.
You got it? Okay.
Just give me 1 sec. Where is it? There. Okay. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I want to skip this title, if it just repeats itself. All right. Yeah, so this is out of Collider, guys. We 100% have an idea for a second season. Skeleton Crew creators discuss season 2 and the time jump. Exclusive breaking news on Collider, guys. Star Wars Skeleton Crew premiered earlier this week, and fans everywhere are already curious what a potential second season of the Star Wars Disney Plus would look like. We here at Collider have you covered, and during a recent interview with Steve Weintraub, show creators John Watt and Christopher Ford revealed if there are any plans for a second season and what it would look like. One of the kicks of Skeleton Crew is that the first Star Wars show to feature it's the first Star Wars show to feature children in prominent roles, which can pose a problem when it comes to stretching content out over multiple years because as we all know, kids grow up. Watts and Ford already have plans in place to deal with this and don't want to end up like another show in the same boat.
Stranger Things.
Okay, that's kind of repeating the
same
thing
there.
Yeah. Okay.
The second one isn't really the same thing.
Yeah, okay. It's built into it that it would be a bigger time jump forward because it doesn't take so long to get things moving. This isn't like it would take place the next day because the kids are going to be older. There are so many repercussions, like you kind of want to catch up later. I mean, that to me, that's kind of what they did even with Omega as an animated character too. Like going from season to season, there was a jump in between where she was a little older. But anyways, one of the biggest issues among the fan base for Stranger Things is that the show tries to treat young adults like they're still children instead of further advancing the story to deal with the fact that the actors have aged. It's already a major green flag to hear that Watts and Ford have contingencies in place to make sure Star Wars Skeleton Crew doesn't go down the same path. and that if the story picks up in potential second season several years later, it's aligned with the children's being 3 or 4 years older, and not pretending like they're 2 weeks older when they've aged several years. As for where the plot could go, it's impossible to speculate on that until the first season of Skeleton Crew has concluded. Is that the end of it?
It just says who stars in Skeleton Crew.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it just says details about who's in it, which I'm pretty sure we're good on that, eh?
Yeah, we're on.
Yeah.
First 2 episodes are available now. Go watch them. Yeah. Anyways.
To me, it makes sense. Excuse me.
For sure.
While I haven't watched, I've still yet to watch Stranger Things. Just bother me about that later.
Guys, just blow up social media. What's the problem?
Yeah. Moving on. That being said, it's understandable even because I mean, technically, we were supposed to watch this 2 years ago. I mean, if it hadn't been for the strikes, we would have had this at least a year ago. Maybe a year and a half ago. So yeah. The kids have grown.
And also not just the strikes. At one point, they increased the budget, so they pushed it back to increase the quality. They were saying too, so that was a thing as well.
Yeah, so I mean, you do this, and obviously these kids are now 3 to 4 years older. You're not going to convince me suddenly the curly-haired kid is suddenly a foot taller and looks like he's trying to grow in his beard, his little baby beard. And you're going to convince me that, oh, well, this is the next day from where the last season ended. No, it ain't going to happen. So I can understand, hey, we've gone a couple years down the line. If you really want to fill it in, you can make like some kind of Skeleton Crew animation, a comic book, write a book about it, and that'll do more than fine to fill me in on what happened between that time. But yeah, I mean, make it make sense.
Yeah, no, it does. It does make sense. Nice to know that they have a plan in place for this if there is a potential second season, right? So
I mean, that's provided that we get a season 2 to begin with. So
that's it, right? You never know. Like, I don't think this series was deemed an exclusive series, like an exclusive one season series, or however way they do it, right? Like,
yeah, I don't think so either.
So I think there's potential for future stuff, and I can see that based on the time era that it's in, right? Like, it's still set kind of in that Mandalorian time era, right? So
yeah.
So I think with everything going on in this era, I think there's definitely potential for sure that as long as it does well, that we could see potential second and third and whatever seasons coming out of this.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe down the line, even films or something, if the story continues to progress or whatever. We never know.
I mean, you can't really rule out the idea of a film either. I mean, if I'm correct, this was technically a film idea when it first came out, if I remember correctly, and then they turned it into a series.
I feel like a lot of them are film ideas in the beginning, and then a lot of them just turn into TV shows.
Yeah.
Except for Lando, which was a TV show that turned into a movie. But moving on.
They just wanted to have some fun.
Yeah. They want to have fun here on the Skeleton Crew as well, so I understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that pretty much covered. I think I've said everything I've had to say on that so far. So I know there's a little bit more to go with this. Just a couple of added things.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That's where that's from. Okay, never mind.
Here we go.
I mean, this the Star Wars, the holiday special one. I mean, it seems like it's something we could do after if you wanted to, because it does has
If you want
something to do with one of the episodes, right? So
If you want to, it's fine.
I feel like we should come back to that one.
Okay.
Next, Jude Law. I guess this was now that he's part of the Star Wars universe. We can do stories on him. So this one is out of Star Wars News Net. Jude Law will receive a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I mean, he's been around for quite a while.
Oh yeah.
He's done a lot of good stuff, like a lot of great roles in movies. Skeleton Crew star Jude Law will be honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame on December 12th. Variety has shared. Law's Walk of Fame star follows other Star Wars notables who have received their stars this year, including Ewan McGregor and Carl Weathers. The Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, who presents the awards, has yet to publish details on Law's Walk of Fame event, but the ceremonies are typically live streamed, and we expect more information to be available in the coming days of those who may be interested. Very interested. I might watch it if it's live stream.
I didn't realize they were live streamed.
I didn't realize it either, but if they're saying that it is, I wonder if it's on. Where is it live streamed on though? That's the question. Maybe they have like a YouTube channel that does, or maybe they'll say it later on. Hold on, we'll keep reading. The Star Wars Walk of Fame presence doesn't stop there, of course, with Mark Hamill, Ming-Na Wen, Harrison Ford, and Carrie Fisher having all achieved a star on the famous landmark, to name a few. Although Law only recently joined the Star Wars family, he has had a long and varied career. Law starred in major blockbusters such as John Watson in Guy Ritchie's Sherlock Holmes, Jan Rog in Captain Marvel, and Albus Dumbledore in the Fantastic Beasts trilogy. His involvement in major IPs comes on top of acclaimed films like The Talented Mr. Ripley. Well, that's an old one. Holy,
Yeah.
closer. So he's certainly due for this kind of recognition. As for his performance in Star Wars, we're only seeing him very briefly at the end of second episode. Oh, spoiler, guys. Crap, we didn't put the spoiler. Oh man, we're done.
Ruined.
Okay, we're done. That's it. Better shut. However, he's left a strong impression, with fans already speculating on the true nature of his character. Whether Law, who plays Jad Na-Na-Wood, is actually a former Jedi, as the show hints at, and can be trusted to do the right thing and help the main cast of kids get back home safely, or instead leans into his pirate sensibilities. See, this is all like is anyone's guess at this point. If you haven't already, yada yada, the show has aired, blah blah blah. Yeah.
I looked it up, guys. The Hollywood Walk of Fame does have its own YouTube channel. It's youtube.com at HWD Walk O Fame.
Walk O Fame. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You'll have to post that in the Discord.
Yeah, definitely have to.
I'll want to watch. Yeah, I didn't know if I'd be watching more of that.
I mean, there's a lot of actors I could care less about, but there's some I would like to see.
Absolutely. There's a lot of that I'd care less about, but
Yeah.
yeah, good for him.
I'm happy for him. He's always been a good actor in my eyes. So
I did enjoy him in the Fantastic Beast stuff, so it's good.
Yeah.
Well, he's the star of my favorite movie of all time, Enemy at the Gates.
There you go.
Well.
There you go.
Yeah, I thought he was a great Watson in the Sherlock Holmes movies. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I've never looked at a movie and said, "Oh, Jude Law's in it." I don't want to watch that. So I mean, it's funny because you look at a couple actors, it's like, yeah, I don't want to watch that movie. But yeah, happy for the guy. I mean, if Star Wars helped him get there, great, even better.
Even better, I know. Yep.
Congratulations and
Congrats, Jude Law. Congrats, yes.
Yeah, obviously Jude Law, you're gonna see this, so
Yeah,
congrats,
yeah.
congrats, bro. Congrats,
Thank
Jude.
you.
We're on a first name basis like that.
And,
yep.
and Jude, if you have time, just share our fantastic, episode, podcast around, and hopefully your friends will pop in. Maybe you'll pop in.
Perfect.
Say
All
hi.
right. All right.
Come do an interview.
All right. So the next one, do we do it or do we not do it?
You guys, I'm not touching that one, so you guys can do it if you want.
I think we could skip it, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm fine with skipping because I don't want to get into it. I really don't want to get into it.
It's honestly saying a lot of stuff we've said a few times.
Already mentioned.
Like,
it's nothing new, and honestly,
let's just say
it's just gonna start another rant that I don't think we want to get into right now. So
let's just say Taika Waititi, the name who shall not be named, is in the news with Star Wars stuff about whether or not he's doing a movie or not, but we're nowhere near closer to answer. So
no
sense of wasting time on it.
So while we care, we don't care.
Yeah.
Moving us to our,
I don't care.
moving us to our last story, and it's not something I would normally bring up, but because it does just involve a game, but it is the holiday season, and I know people like to look for different games to get for your kids or whatever. But if you do play on a computer and you do happen to have access to the Epic Games Store, today through December 12th, I mean, keep in mind today's December 7th when we're actually broadcasting this. So for the next 5 days, they're actually offering Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, the full $50 game right now for free. All you gotta do is go on there, click buy, and you get it for nothing. It covers all 9 episodes. If you're a Star Wars fan, I don't see why you wouldn't want to get this. I wouldn't have grabbed it as fast as I could because, number one, a free $50 game. Yeah, obviously I'm in. but yeah, I mean, hey, you never know. I mean, that's something you wanted to get for your kid. You said, I gotta spend $50 for this thing. Get it now.
Your kid.
Yeah. Well, but even for yourself, and you said to yourself, I don't. Maybe I'll wait until it's like $10. Hey, it's free. Go get it. So,
that's kind.
Yeah, definitely do that. Hey, maybe I don't know. Maybe it'll give me some incentive to want to go play it on Twitch. I mean, add it to the rotation of games that I currently play. And yeah, you never know. So we'll see where that goes. But I mean, yeah, you guys, I didn't mean for this to be a long, big story, but anything you guys want to say about it quick?
Go buy it today.
Have you guys played it? Is it like a storytelling, like campaign type of game, or is it like a multiplayer game, or what is it?
I don't know if it's multiplayer. I just picked it up today, so I don't even know. I haven't.
Okay.
So I just downloaded it. Yeah, so I figure as I get into it, I'll keep you updated.
I mean,
fair, right on.
It's been on because I pay for Game Pass on Xbox, so it's been there for a while. I just haven't gotten into it. But it would be pretty neat if it was a multiplayer cross, or multiplayer game that we could potentially play together on our channel, you know?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because I know now they have this feature on Twitch where you can have like a plus,
Oh.
you know, you're streaming with somebody or +1 with somebody or
Yeah,
whatever.
co-star, I think they call it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it actually combines all your chats together and everything. It's
Yeah.
interesting idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm on the page right now. It says here, play through all 9 Skywalker Saga films, a game unlike any other, with over 300 playable characters, 100 vehicles, and 23 planets to explore. Galaxy Far, Far Away has never been more fun, and it does include the classic Obi-Wan Kenobi playable character, which I guess doesn't come with the regular version of the game. I don't know. We're looking through here quick. Experiences, doesn't say anything about multiplayer, but obviously there are other editions of this. I mean, where you have even more characters from Andor, Book of Boba Fett, Clone Wars, different character packs.
You can get all the DLC for it for sure.
But yeah, Andy, have you used that co-star thing? I know you sometimes stream with people.
No, I haven't yet. But I mean,
actually, it does mention that it has a multiplayer component.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because when I was talking about these characters, that does kind of sound like it's going towards some kind of multiplayer content.
Well, possibly some potential content for the future for the channel then.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we wanted to get together, I'd be down to do that. I mean, that sounds.
I would definitely be down.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. We're Jamaican now. Yeah, man.
Oh, it says here, not online multiplayer supports 2-player local co-op, not online.
Boo.
Though there are workarounds for PC users, but still 2-player. It's not.
All right, guys.
Which I think sucks.
We're just gonna have to join. We're gonna have to fly somewhere to join. You know what I mean? To play.
Yeah, we're gonna
have party.
We're gonna have to modify this game a little bit more just so we can get the third player in.
Yep.
Figure it out. Actually, looks like there's even videos on how to make it online. So, if you learn how to add the third player to it, hey, we'll get it going. But yeah, that being said, hey, either way, go get it because
go buy it right now. It's free. Go buy it with your free money.
But yeah, all right. So moving on from that, obviously, unless you've not been paying attention, we did have Star Wars Skeleton Crew that came out this week. Actually,
spoiler.
Yep, there it is. Spoiler alert's up. So, number 1, if you have not watched Star Wars Skeleton Crew, now is not the time to be here. Go watch the damn show and then come back. If you missed, and you're probably gonna miss our talk about it right now, but go check it out on YouTube afterwards, Spotify, and the other markets that we talk about. All that being said, maybe want to give their first thoughts on the show, or do we want to wait until afterwards?
I think we should wait till after.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I guess I could start the first one here.
Okay.
Alright, so we'll get into episode 1. I'm gonna do it in 10 seconds. So, like I said, if you haven't watched it, I'm giving you time to step away. We're gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you're here now, too bad.
I'm like, I thought you were going to read this in 10 seconds. I'm like, what?
Yep. Working on my speed reading. Do you remember that guy when from at least I remember they used to do the commercials. It was for the he used to talk really fast, and he used to do all the like kids commercials, like little toys and stuff, and he spoke so fast, like if you weren't like right on top of him, you'd never understand what he's saying. Can't think of who the guy is.
I don't think so.
I feel like a lot of those commercial, like people that are cast for commercials, that's kind of their main skill is like being very quick with their iteration.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, too. I know a guy who's an auctioneer, and he comes to karaoke and he sings that song, "The Auctioneer," that is also very fast, and it's very impressive.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into this. Episode 1, titled "This Could Be a Real Adventure." It was written by Christopher Ford and John Watts. This episode was also directed by John Watts, and it had a runtime of 49 minutes. I was very surprised that we got a long episode. Pleased, but surprised. And let's get into it. It says, on the fairly modern planet of Aden, Wim and his friend Neil prepare to take aptitude exams to determine their future. Wim implies that he wishes he were a Jedi, despite Neil's retort that that would be impossible. Meanwhile, truant students Fern and KB spend most of their time riding a hoverbike around town. When Wim misses the bus, he takes his own bike, but falls into a ditch where he discovers what he thinks is a Jedi temple. He is found by a droid who takes him to school, but is subsequently admonished by his workaholic father, Wendell, who tells him that he needs to make up the exam with only a 50% curve. Wim convinces Neil to visit the temple with him, or quote-unquote temple with him, with Fern, who overheard his claim, and KB following as well. The group find a hatch and enter, only to learn that it is really a long abandoned spaceship. Wim pushes a button to activate the ship, lifting them away. Wendell can only watch in horror as the ship takes his son and friends deep into space.
There's a lot to unload here.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I mean, for as little as was there, it feels like a lot more happened.
A lot of stuff that happened in this episode.
So, first impressions of the episode.
First 5 minutes probably are my favorite part of the entire 2 episodes so far. But yeah, lots happened. It was pretty cool episode. There was a couple things that I don't know, kind of was nitpicking about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure all of us do with Star Wars, you know.
Everybody does, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it opens up with the pirate stuff at the first, right? So that wasn't mentioned in this in this thing here, right? So it kind of introduces all the pirates.
They're very aggressive boarding tactics,
which was really cool because when it was explaining in the beginning, and then it was very Star Warsy because then it did the tilt down the plane. You know how the very Star Warsy goes down from space to a planet, and then a ship comes in. You're like, totally Star Wars, man. Like that's how you open up a Star Wars movie, you know?
Yeah.
And that whole sequence was great. It was fantastic. Like,
yeah, I like that a lot.
And introduces all the pirates. Obviously the captain that comes in, you knew right off the bat. You knew who that was. In my opinion, I knew who that was when because when he started talking, right? So
yeah.
There was a lot of stuff. Like in the whole episode, there was so many comparisons to certain movies and certain things. It's like they pluck stuff out from certain things and just put it in there, kind of made it their own. But like I got a Pirates of the Caribbean vibe, a big one, obviously with a few scenes, right? I got the B movie for one of them, which was it was kind of I know it's a weird comparison, but it's like their whole like what is it called, the trying to look here, the aptitude exam. So what they're going to do to the community, like what they're going to be in society when they grow up. That kind of reminded me of the B movie where they all had specific jobs in the thing, whatever. I don't know, that was the first thing that like popped into my head. B movie. I'm sure there's other like comparisons to it, but anyway. The
Ants.
ants, yeah. Any kind of like colony thing. That's kind of what it felt like, right? It was like in the beginning. Like the Forest of Endor scene. That's what I wrote here. The Forest of Endor scene where he was like
on the
zooming
speeder
through the forest, right? And
speeding through,
when he's speeding through, and to me, I'm like, this is what it should have been like in the Forest of Endor, right? You're going through a forest on a speeder, and you're getting hit in the face with like tree branches. Like, I mean, that's what it felt like it should have been in, Return of the Jedi. But whatever, that's nitpicking, I guess.
I mean, I'd also have to look at that and say, I mean, we're also talking about what 40 years ago. I mean, I think if technology was there now, they probably would have definitely worked around that. But
yeah, whatever. I mean, but like, so that opening scene again, it had a tiny like, I mean, A New Hope feel, in the beginning of New Hope. It had, the ending of Rogue One, where they're all like waiting for Vader to come through. So there's a lot of stuff that and then on top of that, like, we've all been saying it, like the movies from the 80s and stuff. It's very children driven, like they're the prominent characters in the show, so it's reminds you of those 80s movies where kids were the main characters in the show, and it was
Goonies and Lean on Me and stuff like that.
All that kind of stuff, right? So there's so much, like, it's crazy, like, but I don't know, you guys, like, I got so much other stuff, but you guys can, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think from my opinion, I do agree with you, Swamp. The first 5 minutes with the pirates and everything, that was well done. I mean, I actually love that part. To me, that felt the most Star Wars of that whole episode. That being said, you get to the kids and everything going on. Other than watching the two, women kneel sitting there playing with the lightsabers, so to speak. I didn't really get much of a. I mean, obviously you picked out little things and noticed like little differences, things that were in Star Wars, but I didn't get an overall Star Wars feel for it. And let me finish. And I did find some of the dialogue rather childish in the way it was done, but at the same time, that's what I expect out of this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to be a kid's adventure. They don't really know what's going on in the galaxy, really, outside of what they think they know about the Jedi. There's no war here. There's no anything going on. So I think that tells me that Ford and Watts are kind of dialed in. It's not trying to overdo what it needs to do with the kids, and at the same time, I never, like I said, while I didn't get a great overarching Star Wars feel to it, it didn't need to be there for this.
Right.
So I understand. We'll talk about that more as we get into the second episode. But here, I mean, I understand you're just introducing characters, trying to get a feel for what's going on in the world. It did what it needed to do, and while I think I like the second episode a little bit more, again, we'll get into that after. It was a good episode. It did everything I wanted it to do. It kept my interest and got me excited. It's like when that episode ended and I'm watching the starship go away. It's like, okay, I'm a little excited to see what happens next. Let's get to the next episode. But I mean, there's just definitely some stuff in there that I really enjoyed. I mean, I want to say my personal favorite moment on both episodes was in that beginning when they sit there, they board the ship, they've got the guy open the door. He opens the door and sit there and expect all the money, and there's one credit sitting there. And I sat there and that's the one time I like really broke out laughing.
Well, then he was like, well, mutiny then.
Yeah. So that I found hilarious.
Yeah, it was kind of comical too how they kind of like pulled him pulled him down to the bottom of the screen kind of thing.
Or no, it was to the side. I think they
put it to the side. Yeah. That was awesome.
But yeah, outside of that, I mean, showing them in school, just the characters talking, being what they are. I will say one thing: I don't get the appeal of the Neil character. Like there's a lot of people going around like showing. Hey, if you look down social media, like a lot of people with the hashtag Neil Nation, everybody seems to love this Neil character. It's just a character to me. I don't get it. But I mean, it doesn't take away from the fun of the show. It doesn't take away from anything there. I just don't understand. I mean, because he's the one character that's not human. That's where we're going.
Yeah.
I kept looking at the part in his hair. Like he's got blue hair and it's like parted.
Yeah.
I kept like.
Your eyes went to it.
My eyes kept going. Huh? What the?
That's funny.
This elephant's got hair.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, one thing that I was kind of nitpicky about is like for me, whenever they have an actor performing some kind of like physical work on screen, kind of takes me out of the element because as somebody who like does physical work, I just notice things like that. So there's a scene where they're digging. Oh man, it looks to me like an actor, not a normal person. Just whenever that happens in a movie or a show, rather. Same with like even seasoned actors. Like in the Yellowstone sequel, there's a scene where Sam Elliott and Tim McGraw get down and they're digging a grave. I'm like, oh my god. You just took me right out of the whole story. Now I know it's two actors. Like, just keep that off the screen. Like, you guys are not good at pretending to shovel, okay? So, anyways, and then they're talking about like this ship is massive. They're like, okay, we're digging it out. They're literally like moving, maybe an ounce of dirt at a time, like scraping the surface. I'm like. And the girls are sitting there with like a shovel and they are not using it. And yeah, I don't know. That whole scene kind of was weird to me. I'm like, this is like sort of improv, like when you see kids in like a drama class. That's what it felt like to me. Yeah, anyways, other than that, I really liked that first 5 minutes.
I would say that whole scene in the ditch, like anything that was in that ditch was just unbelievable. Like when he fell down and then he's like, I can't climb up this hill that's like this, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it looks like you can climb up the hill, but I don't know why you're having an issue climbing up the hill that is clearly just like stairs, like almost. You know what I mean? It didn't make any sense. I was like, this is ridiculous. Like he can climb that. Come on, like.
Yeah, pretending to not be able to climb it. He's like, oh.
And then accidentally like brushes away a little bit off the door as he falls. You're like, oh, there's the. What is this?
Yeah.
It's like,
I guess just nitpicking, I guess, but
Yeah.
it doesn't really take anything from the story. And I mean, like you're saying, Eldor, like I'm going into the show going, okay, it's kids acting. I know it's going to be 50-50. It's going to be 50-50 whether or not it's going to be good acting or, it's just going to be meh, whatever. Like, and that's kind of what it was for, in that first episode to me, because all that kind of filler stuff that they did with, introducing the characters and going to the school and being at the houses and all this other stuff, like some of it, it wasn't the greatest acting and it wasn't whatever, but obviously you have to lay some of that down, lay some of the story down,
absolutely.
kind of move it forward. So I understand. It's just, but I'm also going into the show going, or not going, this is going to be the greatest acting ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
my expectations for the acting is not like high level. So
Super high.
to me,
Yeah.
it didn't really bother me immensely. I don't, but I mean, obviously, yeah, you're like, oh man, this is not the greatest sequence.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I gotta look at it this way. I mean, it's like from what I know, these kids, even though I think they've done one or two things, they're not. It's not like these kids have been around for a long time doing this either. So
Right.
I've got to give them the benefit of a doubt on top of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying like, oh, they stink. I can't
Yeah.
watch their acting, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know, I knew going into it, like I wasn't setting the bar high on the kids acting.
Yeah, I mean, to me,
which made it, better to watch. Like I wasn't like, oh, expecting the best. So,
but yeah, like you said, at the same time, nothing was unwatchable.
Exactly. No.
Yeah, that was great. That was the best part of it.
It wasn't Canto Bright, like, or whatever it was in friggin' Last Jedi, but
yeah.
where you go, fast forwarding, not doing this again.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, at the end of the day, I expected some childish dialogue because, hey, guess what? They're kids.
Yeah.
It's like I'm glad you wrote it that way, because if they came out sounding like Rhodes Scholars, I'd be like, what the hell is this? So yeah, I mean, I think they did a good job with the writing. So at least so far.
So what do you guys think about Wim's dad? Like how he acted in the he kind of rubbed me the wrong way. You know what I mean? Like I'm watching him going, this guy is like a jerk. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I feel like he's like a he's a dad who's not there, right? You know what I mean? Like he's
constantly going to work, but
constantly
he's
working.
also seems to be a single parent as well.
Absolutely, we know that. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, their mother's not with them anymore, so whether I'm not sure if there was if it was said that she passed away or not with them, and I don't know. But it's definitely a family, a broken family, because obviously, when Wim is walking with Neil and Neil goes into the house, he's got his parents and his brothers and sisters and all this stuff, and they're all like, and you can see Wim, and he's like, oh man, I wish I had that. Like,
yeah. But I mean, at the same time, I mean, as a person who grew up with a single parent, a single father, yeah, comes off as kind of a jerk, but at the same time, it was believable to me, like a guy who's overburdened with his job, but at the same time, he comes off as an overprotective parent that I want to make sure you're doing all the right things. So at the end of the day, he came off believable to me. So
that's true. I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean it. I think they're hitting they're hitting the demographics too, right? There's one that's a broken family, and here's another one that's has the family, the the typical family model or whatever it is. Then whatever it is, and but I mean, like his look is definitely out of the 80s. Like his glasses are like
Yeah.
so 80s glasses. Like it's
Yeah.
it's like an 80s dad.
It's true. It's true.
Well, I think that plays well into everything as well, with the whole idea of they're going back to that kind of a time period. So
yeah, no, and I agree. Yeah, and I think it's perfect for that theme. Yeah, I that theme for sure. Like,
and I think that's something I will continue to talk about when we get to the next episode. But
right.
I'll wait until we're there.
See what else I got. The one thing that I was when I was watching it the second time, so the scene where they're in the ditch and another section of the ship is revealed, and that KB, she walks over to the thing and does her thing, hooks herself up to her USB port and all that stuff, right? The one thing that I would love to see a glimpse of would be like her vision of what she's seeing, like, you know what I mean? Just see like a quick like what she sees or whatever it is like behind that, because I mean, obviously she sees something, she knows like obviously the visor processes things, I guess, quickly, like a droid would process something, I guess, right? Because yeah, as we'll see in the second episode. But yeah, it was just something small, like something I noticed the second time I watched.
I mean, it's pretty obvious she's going to be the engineer, so to speak, of the group.
Well, we kind of already know
the tinkerer, yeah.
when the speed bike thing broke down, or it reminds me of a Vespa. It's like
here we go.
The Vespas, right? When it broke down, they were in the garage there, and she was like fixing it, or not fixing it, but taking the part off. I was like, well, she obviously knows what she's doing with engineering stuff. So, but anyways, yeah. Waking up a ship. Is that yeah, when they flew off. So they flew off in the first episode.
Yeah.
So the way that what I noticed when they were waking up the ship and when she smashed it with that wrench thing or that pipe looking thing, that's classic Star Wars, like.
Yeah.
Like, that's Millennium Falcon right there, like, you know, clang clang to get the thing going, like. Yeah, just I don't know, small little things, like. Anyways, that's all I got. What about you guys? Anything else?
We covered quite.
The pirates look great. The pirates, oh my gosh, the pirates, like the way that they look, the costumes, and the way that they're being acted.
Yeah.
Like, in that first scene, the opening scene with like Brutus and when they came through, like, oh man, that was cool. Even though we saw it in the trailer, like we saw him come out through that hole in the trailer and he's shooting things or whatever it is, like it was just as cool. Like when he came out, and obviously he's some sort of a good shot because he's got a bunch of guns and he's got a like. But that was cool. I think they all look great. Yeah, they all have their own like unique look. And
I mean, the one thing for me was I was happy to see that Urkel came out and didn't talk like Urkel. I mean,
I don't think he talked in the first episode. He just came out.
Did he not talk in the first episode?
I don't think he did.
That I might have missed.
Yeah, I think it's only in the second episode.
Okay, well,
I believe.
But I mean, costume looks alright. I mean,
honestly, he looked great because he looks believable. Honestly, the way that he looked, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not thinking, hey, it's Urkel, to be honest.
Yeah.
It looks good. Like, that's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely had a lot more notes than I did, but I mean, like I said, same time, no, that's awesome. I think we covered pretty much a good part of it there. and
Yeah.
that's awesome because like I said, it's a good show. I mean, so far so good.
I just like the resemblance to things like as you're going through the show, and like I didn't pick them all up in the first time I watched it, so I watched it the second time just to kind of prepare myself to have it a little bit more in my brain before we did the show. But then I'm like, I'm picking up things. I'm like, oh man, that's okay, whatever. But I like the resemblance, like definitely picking things from different, almost Disney stuff, pretty much like Disney movies, Disney whatever. Like just plucking this out of here and this out of there and putting it in their own spin on it in this show. Like the pirate thing. Like the pirate thing is just it's Pirates of the Caribbean, but Star Wars version, and I don't know. We'll get more into that in the second episode because I have
second
another
episode.
thing in the second one that I want to bring up later. So
Awesome. That being said, you guys want to get into the second episode here, or?
sure.
All right. All right. So, you guys want me to go through it again, or you guys want me to take care of it?
I'll read it. If you guys don't.
Okay, go for it.
All right. Episode 2, way out past the barrier. Also written by Christopher Ford and John Watts, directed by David Lowery. 32 minutes for this one. The kids meet the ship's pilot, an aging droid named SM-33, who does not realize that his captain is long gone. Fern convinces him that she is the new captain, and she takes them to a nearby outpost, as At-Aten is not on any map. The kids venture through the outpost and accidentally split up, during which Wim uses his lunch money to buy food, only to learn that his currency is considered very valuable. When he tells the locals that he is from At-Aten, everyone laughs and they tell him, hold on, move your cursor there. At-Aten is a name of a legendary city that holds a hidden treasure. A gang of pirates try to seize the kids by force to enslave them. SM-33 intervenes and tries to protect the children, but is quickly overwhelmed and gunned down. Brutus, the boss of the outpost, has the children thrown in the brig. Down there, they meet Ja Na Nawud, who reveals that he is force sensitive and has some usable knowledge. Wim, believing him to be a Jedi, agrees to work together so they can escape, with Jod offering to take the kids back to their ship as long as he gets to come with them.
Again, a lot to unpack there.
in this 29-minute episode.
Yeah. That being said, I'm putting it out there for all you people that have this Neo Nation thing going on. Screw that. SM-33 is a new gonk in my eyes.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
It is a real good, like right from the beginning, SM-33 man. Yeah, he's like right off the bat. Like he reminds me of, well, obviously like the name Smee, SM-33.
Yeah.
It's Smee from Hook, right? But
Captain Hook, yeah.
Captain Hook, right? But like he gives you know how like when you're watching you watch Rogue One for the first time and you meet K2, it's kind of like kind of gives you a K2 vibe a little bit, right?
Yep.
I felt that same vibe as well.
Yep.
More piratey, of course.
Well, obviously. Yeah. I loved it. It was great.
Yeah.
And Nick Frost plays the droid. So if you guys don't know who Nick Frost is, look him up. You know, Shaun of the Dead, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, really good actor.
Good stuff. But yeah. Starts it really good. Really, oh man, yeah. What else? What else, guys?
Oh, there's just a lot here.
I
mean, because
I talked more last time, so you guys.
At first, I mean, obviously, let's get into the planet of Aden. The fact that nobody knows where it is. It's supposed to be a fabled planet where a fantasy planet of treasure, like they said. almost makes sense because obviously they've gone past said barrier, and even when the father's talking to the droid, and the droid's like, if they went past the barrier, that is against the rules. He's like, well, my son's past it. I mean, what are we gonna do to get him back? But I mean, it's got me curious as to what is that. I didn't really. I mean, because if you go through, I mean, even the quote unquote lunch money that the father gives Wim, I love that part when they finally got to the outpost. I don't remember the name of the outpost, but the little. Was that it?
I think it's Borgo, yeah. So based, yeah, Port Borgo, I think is what they called it.
But that when Wing gives the little whatever that creature was,
the ferryman.
Yeah, he hands him the one little coin, and he looks at the coin, and he goes right off with glee, like oh my god, I got this. It's like, but I mean, even then, what did they mention? They're Old Republic Dactaries, which I mean, I don't know. I mean, it has me wondering a little bit. Are we talking Old Republic as in the current Old Republic that we know with technically like prequel era Old Republic? Because you remember Qui-Gon Jinn tried to pay Wada with Dactaries, and he said, "No, your money's no good to me."
Yeah.
Or are we talking Old Republic Dactaries? At which point, how old is this planet? How long have these people been here? Is it really something special? I tend to think it's going to go back to the Qui-Gon Jinn era a little bit more, only because if I remember looking at it correctly, I almost want to say there were Imperial logos on the money as well.
I thought that too. Yeah.
So I don't know if that's what it was, but then again, if you think back to the old Old Republic, the Sith Empire logo was not overly different, even though never truly introduced into the canon. The Old Republic logo from Star Wars: The Old Republic was introduced into the canon in one of the Clone Wars episodes. I think the one that Hu Yang was actually in. So I don't know. You could be working in something there. I don't know, but I do think it was Empire. Period.
Mm.
But it sounds like there's a story there that I'm really hoping that they delve into.
Yeah, I think the planet itself has its own story for sure. I feel like it feels like the planet is being hidden
By the barrier.
That's what it is. I feel like it's like a
cloaking
cloak. It's like a
shield
cloak or
or
something,
something.
right? Like
Yeah.
nothing's allowed to come in, nothing is allowed to leave. So obviously there's something there where they're told that story, you know, whoever's on this planet, but everybody who's in the high ups knows the actual story, obviously, of the planet. But I feel like the New Republic is hiding the planet for some reason. You know what I mean? Like,
well, but I mean, the question is, I mean, you almost get the impression the New Republic knows something about it. I mean, if you go to the idea of this money has Old Republic Empire ties, it almost gives me the impression, what was Palpatine hiding?
Yeah,
that
could be too.
Yeah. And it was never. Yeah, that's true, eh?
Yeah, they could be like fully disconnected where they don't even know that the Empire is gone and stuff, like the higher ups, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, these kids aren't going to know it all because, I mean, hell,
they don't know nothing.
Yeah, I mean, this kid is thinking about what is it, Wim? He's just thinking about the myth of the Jedi. Never mind.
I don't know, actually. I think like in episode 1 though, when that lady, Fern's mother, came to the classroom, I feel like she had said something about the New Republic though. I feel
I
like
know that
she
I
said
know there
something.
was something where they said something about the New Republic, but that was or the part that I'm thinking of was on the ship where they were being docked by the pirates at the beginning. I know that guy was like, "In the name of the New Republic, you must not
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
steal or open the vault or whatever it was."
I mean, I think that was just to distinguish what era we're in. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
Like, I think that
mhm,
was just hey, this is in the New Republic era.
mhm.
I mean, I'd have to go back, but I don't know if she necessarily said New Republic. She might have just said Republic. I mean, because obviously, I mean, the old,
I don't know, man.
I
Yeah.
mean, nobody necessarily called it the old Republic back in the days of the Republic.
Well, no, of
Mhm,
course. Yeah,
mhm.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I was doing dishes while I was watching it again, so I guess. But she did mention something about the current government or something like that, whatever it was, and I'm pretty sure she said republic. But again, like you say, yeah, it could be referencing they probably think that they're still in that old republic with during Palpatine's reign. So I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, like you said, I get no impression that they know that the Empire's gone.
They're
And they're just,
all they're told is that it's dangerous outside the barrier. That's
yeah,
all they're told. That's what we're getting, right? So
yeah, it's dangerous, don't leave.
nothing's
We,
allowed to come in.
we have your lives set for you when you're old enough, and there's no reason to actually go out and think that you're gonna ever have a reason to leave the world.
Right.
Um, yeah, that's about it. Um, but yeah, that being said, I'm really curious about the Ed Adams story.
Well, I hope they dive into it event. Like I feel like it's like like the planet is a character on its own. That's what I feel like we're gonna figure out too, right?
Yeah,
So I'm reading the script from that classroom
Oh,
scene,
you are
and
okay.
she says, "Keeping the Republic peaceful and strong,"
Oh, okay.
is
There
what
you
she says.
go. Okay.
So,
Okay. Okay.
so
That's
yeah,
interesting. That is interesting. It's almost like it's feeling like a lost planet now. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
yeah,
Like it was lost in the whole transition of to the New Republic. So
Well, I
hence
mean,
why they probably would have the Republic credits that they have, right?
yeah, but
yeah.
I mean, it goes back to giving me the same vibe of what they did with Camino. It's like they
Hmm.
they pulled it out of they took the planet out of the
Registry, the
registry,
Jedi
so they didn't even,
archives.
yeah, they didn't know it existed. Um, nobody know. I mean, people have heard of Adam, but we,
Yeah, it
we have
seems
no
like
idea
the
what it
pirates are
is.
like, we searched for that before. It doesn't exist, you know?
Yeah, at which point, I mean, obviously they capture him because you're going to lead us to it. Of course, it's a bunch of kids. They have no idea what the hell they're doing because they didn't even know that they were leaving. So, but it's, yeah, like I said, that's the biggest thing I got from this episode. Um,
Yeah.
it was, I don't know. I mean, everything feels like it came together with Jude Law showing up at the end. Chad, um, obviously wasn't expecting any more out of that. I like I said, for me, my favorite thing out of the whole thing, I love the droid. I hope the droid gets repaired because I mean, it looked
I
like,
imagine he will.
yeah,
Because
I
we
can't,
see more
Because I
scenes
mean,
in the trailers with him, so yeah.
well, I mean, but they
yeah,
also wouldn't they wouldn't cast Nick Frost if it was just gonna be a random like droid
Yeah.
gonna get destroyed, right? So
yeah,
Yeah, and even the first images we seen of him, he's wearing clothes, and I noticed he was not wearing clothes yet, so there's gonna be some kind of thing where they decide that putting clothes on him is a good idea for some reason, so
yeah.
he's naked. Gotta dress him up.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, other than that, I mean, I was definitely excited about the episode. I mean, Yeah, I'm just trying to think back. I mean, when they're running around, and I mean, it was another funny scene when they sat there and they were getting the food, and they sat there. Oh, we'll take the special that guy's having. And
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
this is it breaks open the whatever that was into it, and yeah, Nielsen. Then no, I'll just take mine and say, oh.
It looked like a space lobster or something. They cracked in half.
Yeah.
Purple stuff came out.
Yeah, the slime consistency was very like neat looking.
Well, on whims, like when he broke it on whims, and like it was just a big blob, like right in.
Yeah.
But like when it opened it up on Neil's, it just like oozed out more. Like
And of course, when he gave him the money, and he's like, "Is this enough?" Oh no! How much more you got?
I need more. Actually,
Where'd you get this from?
Yeah, and then Vane came in, which was cool. He talked a little bit, and like when he talks, like for some reason, when he talks, like he gives me like he kind of sounds like Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean. Like I know he doesn't look like it, but he had like that the actor who played him. Who's the actor's name? I can't remember the actor's name, but he has that like
I feel like I do know that.
he
Can't think
has
of it.
that kind of like voice to him, like but either way, like anything that like any one of those pirates was just cool to see. Like I think when Brutus came in, so he's the captain now, I guess. Brutus, like he's honestly, I think he's my favorite, to be honest. Like Brutus, like he looks really badass and mean and really cool.
I'm
Young
trying to remember. That
Beast,
was
as I
the
call him.
wolf.
That was the wolf, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. I guess we're not used to the names yet, but
Dark
We're getting
Beast,
there.
as I
We're
call
getting
him.
there.
the Dark Beast, but that's Brutus, yeah.
Yeah. The actor is either Bill Nighy or Mark Wary. I guess both of them played him in two different ones.
For Davy Jones.
Davy Jones, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. It was the first one, Bill Nighy or whatever.
Nighy, yeah.
He's got that like because he was also in Underworld movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
Elder vampires.
Yeah.
It's just the way that he talks, like he's got that like
very
very
epic,
menacing, like very I don't know what it is, man. But anyways, a few times when Vane talked, I was like, oh man, he sounds like him, man.
Now I think the one thing I would be curious about here is, because obviously we've seen the Vane character in the Mandalorian series. Is this before that or after?
I think this is after.
Is it meant to be after?
I think it's meant to be after. Yeah. What was his name? The salad face they call him. A lot of reaction videos and stuff are like salad face and whatever, gore something, or I don't know.
Yeah, Gorian Shard.
Gorian Shard, yeah.
Yeah.
That was, I think, that because that was Vane's previous captain, and I think this is meant to be after season 3 or season 2 or whatever. Like,
yeah, at the beginning in that first scene, that one guy is the captain that gets pulled off the screen there, right?
Well, that's Jude Law.
That is him.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's Jude Law.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's the captain that was mutinied.
Right.
And,
yeah.
Well, like at the end, because this again, it reminds me of like Pirates of the Caribbean, because like Jack Sparrow gets mutinied, and you know, he's found in the prison at the end. Jude Law's found in the prison. You know what I mean? And help me get out of here, okay? Yada yada. You know, cuts a deal to get out.
Yeah, that's true.
And so like again, like it's more resemblance to the Pirates of the Caribbean, and I feel like I'm gonna get that whole, like the whole every episode I'm gonna get like certain things from that. But that's cool, like because I love Pirates of the Caribbean and I love pirates, so
yeah,
there's nothing wrong with it. It's just it gives you that vibe.
So
Big time.
prediction: is he gonna find like a stash of rum? And, like...
Is he gonna be mutinied on an island?
Yeah.
On a planet by himself?
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
I'd be okay with it. I'd be all right with
Yeah.
it. The one thing at the end that I noticed, so obviously we know that he's got force powers. He's force sensitive.
Right.
And so the one thing that I noticed the second time I watched, I didn't notice the first time, but the second time, the music while pulling the key to himself, there was the Luke Skywalker theme a little bit.
Yeah, the Force theme.
The Force theme, yeah.
Yeah.
As he was pulling it over, right? So
I thought it was actually a nice little adaptation of it.
absolutely. I thought it was cool. I love it when you know these shows sort of weave in those older renditions of the score from other films. Nice. Very well thought of. You know what I mean? Like it's a cool thing to pick up on.
Yeah. I will say, as far as the music is concerned, what was it? Giacchino's kid.
Yeah.
Is the one that Mick Giacchino, I believe it was, who did this?
Yeah.
Skeleton Crew.
I remember.
Yeah.
So far, I'm happy with the music. Because when you watch the trailers, you're not getting any impression of like Star Wars music because they kept bringing in Major Tom and all that, and it's just like
stuff. Yeah.
It's like, God, I really hope this isn't what they're gonna try to bring into the show. But yeah, for a trailer, I don't care. But yeah, once they started actually playing some of the music through the show, it was like, oh yeah, some of this stuff is not bad.
It's not bad, but again, it's not, to me, it's not sticking out really as it has in other shows. To me, anyways. Like, I love score from anything. Like, score from the shows, the Star Wars shows lately have been really good.
Except for Book of Boba Fett.
I didn't mind it.
Oh, you liked it?
Yeah,
I did not.
Like,
I did not.
You know, I didn't mind it at all. Like, I love it when it feels like it's like an extra character in the show. Like, to me, like, it's just something more added, like something that's good. And I'm a music guy, so I love that kind of stuff anyways. So but so far it's not standing out yet. I was kind of disappointed with the opening theme when they show the logo, you know what I mean? I'm like, there's really nothing. Like,
yeah, it's really short, eh?
See, this is where I'm gonna play devil's advocate a little bit.
Go for it.
Only because of this. If you remember what I said about the first episode, I didn't, outside of like that first 5 minutes, I didn't get a great Star Wars vibe from this show. It's a kids movie, and I said at the same time, I understand, and there's nothing in what I saw outside of like the speeder going around and the kid reading about the Jedi every chance he could, but there was nothing there that screamed, I'm in a Star Wars world. We're in the middle of a war. We're in the here a real Jedi about to fight over something with the Sith. There's nothing there, so it gives me the child adventure, which great, because that's what I expected coming in, and again, written really well. But I think at the same time, it's written with purpose to not be fully 100% Star Wars yet.
Right.
And that's why when the music doesn't really hit like Star Wars, and to me it didn't really hit like Star Wars until that end when Jod is pulling the key, and now I'm starting to get that little bit of the Force theme, and it's like, okay, now I'm starting to get a little bit of a Star Wars feel to what's going on.
Right.
It feels right. So as it goes on from here now, it's like I feel like this is one of those shows where, as the show goes on, keep introducing a little bit more Star Wars, a little bit more Star Wars, a little bit more. And I'm okay with it that way. And because these kids are getting introduced to, technically they're getting introduced to the universe, the galaxy, so to speak. It's gonna start feeling more like Star Wars as we go further and further in now. So I don't know if we're gonna see any Star Wars, like any of the true characters, cameos, anything like that. I personally almost, outside of Vane, I almost really hope we don't.
I hope we don't either. Yeah. Yeah.
But that being said, as time goes on,
Dorian Shard.
That's what I wouldn't. That's when I wouldn't mind. That's what I wouldn't mind if this is technically before that period.
I feel like,
even though, like you said, you think it's after.
I think it's after. Yes. I feel like if maybe at the most his name might be brought up by Vane. That's about it. That's all I feel like is gonna happen.
But I'm okay with that. Because it makes sense.
Name drop, right? We know the character.
And it's a rightful name drop from the one person that would actually drop that name. So, yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, well, for all we know, all these pirates might have worked for him or whatever.
Which is also true.
Yep.
But yeah, like I said, as time goes on, like at this point, I'm not expecting the music to be 100% smack me in the face with the feel of Star Wars and the music as that extra character, because I know what you mean by the extra character thing. I mean, because John Williams did that more masterfully. But I don't know if I need it just yet. I mean, Chicino's father did it. I thought quite, even though the music was definitely not John Williams' music in Rogue One.
No, he did fantastic.
I think he did a great job of what was there.
Absolutely.
So, as of right now, I'm good with the music.
I'm not crapping on the music. Like I understand that the music it's matching up what's happening in the show. When obviously the first episode, there's not a lot of action going on in the first episode, obviously, so it's a lot more lighter music, a lot more like flowy stuff, whatever's happening, kids, playing along or whatever it is.
Yeah, whimsical.
Yeah, it's whimsical, right? But
I see what you tried to do there, Swamp.
But I do feel like the music will, as the adventures go on more, and this is what I'm hoping, that it starts to pick up with the music, because I mean, like, yeah, I agree. Like, it's just, to me, the music adds a little extra to the show, right? For me, like, and it doesn't have to be like, because when the Mandalorian came out and the theme song and all that stuff, I know it blew up and all this stuff, like it, but to me, it didn't have a Star Wars feel to it per se, right?
It was kind of new, really, a new feel.
It was a new thing, but it was still really cool, like, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I don't know. I'm just looking for that kind of like thing, but I'm probably just stretching. Like, it probably won't happen. They'll probably just have the sequences, whatever's going on, the adventures and stuff, and whatever it is. Like, I'm fine with it. I'm just saying, like, I just want more, I guess. But
no, I get it. I totally get it. But
it's not ruining the show for me. Like, it's not ruined or anything. I'm just saying.
And to me, I just think it's one of those things, like, as time goes on, I kind of expect to get more of that feeling as I go.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't go, if it doesn't go there, then I'm gonna start questioning it.
Yeah. I feel like at the end, if there's some kind of like epic battle, hopefully we get a really epic song along with it, right?
And I'm sure we will. I mean, like you said, even going back to Mandalorian, what was it? Goranson that did the music for that?
Yep.
A lot of his music is not really Star Wars kind of music, but at the same time, by the time the first season was over, a lot of it felt good. Yeah, I mean,
it's really good. Like,
it's like not for nothing that the main Mandalorian theme, to me that's Star Wars now. It won me over.
It is, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. No, it was it was good. But yeah,
Yeah,
like I feel
Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, I feel like if the music keeps going on, it's gonna. I hope it has like some sort of like small little piratey thing added to it. You know what I mean? Whatever, like in the music, and
Like mix the Captain Hook song with the.
I don't know. I'm just like
Yeah.
I feel like it's a pirate world now that we're in, right? So I
Yeah.
feel like the music should kind of go along with that. You know what I mean? Just tiny bit, like, you know, weaving in and out, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I just look like an idiot doing that. But
no, I know what you're trying to say, and I agree with it. Like I said, all you got to really do here, give me more of that. Interweave a little Star Wars into it in the spots where it needs to go, so I get that feel as things happen, and yeah, we're gonna. I think.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna work, but personally, I think he's off to a good. I think he's off to a good start.
Yeah, I think the show's off to a good start.
Yeah.
So yeah, something. Sorry to break away from the music thing, but something that came into mind. Came to mind when Elder, you were talking about it like not having as much of a Star Wars feel. Something that I had noticed is the data pad that Wim has is like less like data pads that we've seen in Star Wars and more like a tablet that we see IRL.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that? Yeah.
Yeah, it gives more of the
smartphone kind of feel, right?
To me, anyway. I think the thing that hit me was more of like the, you know, like the little. I mean, not to go back to the whole Amazon thing, like we did earlier, but I don't know. You ever see those little what is it, like the Kindles that have like the special like plastic around them? For me, especially for kids, they're like all the weird bright colors.
Yeah, where you can draw on them and everything. Is that what?
It might even be like that, but like you could. It's like you look at it and you say, "Oh yeah, that's definitely for kids."
Yeah.
That's kind of the impression I got when I looked at that thing.
Well, it kind of reminds me of that old school like vision thing you put on your face and you clicked it, click.
Yeah. You put the little, put the little film things inside of it.
The viewfinder.
That's what it kind of reminds me of.
Yeah. What was that called? It's been so long because
it was called a viewfinder.
I definitely had them when I was a kid.
Oh, I did too. And you put the different slides in, and you know, what is that called? Somebody look it up.
I'm already there. Viewmaster, yeah.
Yeah, I could have sworn it's just called a viewfinder.
Yeah, it's a Viewmaster, yeah.
Viewmaster.
I'm sure they even still make them today. Yeah, you can still buy them today.
Image 3D, it says on the front of it. Image 3D custom viewfinder, real plus red retro viewer for kids.
Oh, such a description for this thing.
So exciting.
Gotta make it appealing, right?
That's it. I'm gonna have to go get one tomorrow. So.
There, you can buy one for $81. It says
$81.
Yeah,
$81. Oh hell no!
Wow, that's at Walmart. It says. Wow.
Oh my god.
Do you know how many of those Star Wars lightsaber books I could buy for that?
It's okay though. It says you can also do 4 bi-weekly installments of 2019.
Yeah, that's 4 times the no, in my opinion.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, it'll be worth it in the end because you can put it up and like click and look at stuff.
And then everything's still real in that.
It'll be like, yeah. So worth it.
$20 on Amazon. Just wait till Boxing Day sales, guys.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't think I have any. That's the end of my notes. You guys have?
I think that covered everything I want to say about it. I don't know about you, Swamp.
I feel like there was something about the pirates I was gonna say, but I'm drawing a blank. Oh yeah, I don't know. Just cool to see some like species that I feel like I don't know. There was quite a variety on that spaceport there. That was pretty cool. Like the guy that helped them out at the bar there, I thought he was a pretty cool looking crustacean dude there.
Yep.
Uh,
And it's all practical stuff, which is like it's to me that's the best. Like I love it.
yeah.
Seeing all that, especially like the ferryman. The ferryman, that's a puppet. Like you definitely like when he's standing there and he's just doing that, like whatever, like the puppet,
Yeah.
man. It's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't need to be any more than that either, so that was the best part.
Right? Except when he runs off. Obviously that's CG when he runs off. But
Yeah.
but in place, like especially like even SM33, like when he's sitting in the, you definitely can tell that that's practical. Like he's just going, and the way that he's moving, like it's just, oh man, definitely, probably. Obviously, it's some guy with a remote control. The remote control is probably this big, man, and he's probably like big friggin' antenna, like yeah.
Sit there.
I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah, so that being said, overall thoughts of the first 2 episodes.
We're so far so good. Like this is definitely better than the first 2 episodes of The Acolyte. Let me tell you that much.
We're not setting the bar very high there.
I have to bring that up. Yes. Suck it, Leslie.
Yeah. I know, Leslie, you're watching this, of course, just like Jude Law.
Yep.
Well, when I make the clip of this episode, I'll tag Leslie and
Perfect.
just to see if they'll say anything.
Yeah. Yeah, make 2 separate clips, one about the Jude Law thing and tag him, and yeah, that'd be awesome. Kathleen Kennedy, we talked about her too.
Yeah,
we
we'll
could
have to tag her as well. Yeah. We'll have to tag, the one where
boy.
we're like, yeah, she's definitely out soon. Right? But overall, yeah, no, I'm enjoying it so far. I hope that that we get a few episodes that are longer than 29 minutes, because I mean that 32 minutes is runtime. That includes the 6 minutes of credits at the end, and
the intro is short, but it's still
but you get the
you still have the last episode.
Yeah, that one, right? You still got the previous episode thing. So I mean, but I guess I mean, I know people crap on the runtime stuff. I think I talked about this with my buddy the other night when we watched the episodes, and if you think about it, right, before Mandalorian, like all the animated stuff, if you watch the animated stuff week to week when it was coming out, I mean those episodes were like 22 minutes a piece, right? Like they were, because it's animation, it's just stuff you're used to, right? So I mean, when the Mandalorian came out, those episodes we got spoiled, I think, with those the length of those episodes, I believe, because they were like 45 minutes.
They were in the 35 to 45 minutes.
Like where there was what shows had the hour-long stuff? Like, I mean,
well, I think that
I feel like I don't know. I know we crap on it, but I feel like it's just we got to get back. They're trying to get us back to where it was before. I guess maybe like
See, I think the thing with that is leading in. I mean, I think we got spoiled by the fact of before these things came, before Star Wars started putting TV shows out, we were watching things like Game of Thrones, where you were getting an hour of content, and that's not including the last episode and the credits, and
Yep.
then suddenly we're here and we're looking at 45 minutes. I mean, that's it. And then suddenly it went down to 35 minutes. It's like, wait, 35 minutes? And it's like, okay, I understand if you're trying to go for a shorter thing, and obviously they've never given us the impression that they're going for something longer, so I can't go there. But yeah, end of the day, I mean, it's my big thing is, yeah, obviously with the animation it's one thing, because I mean, like I said, I mean, even as a kid watching cartoons and stuff, 30 minutes for a cartoon. With commercials dropped in, it's like 20 minutes of actual content, so to speak.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I expect. But I'm looking at a drama, and yeah, you put the quote unquote commercials into that. Yeah, it'll probably run an hour.
Mm.
But like I said, we got spoiled by watching things like Game of Thrones. And I know there's
that part, I guess.
Oh,
I thought Mandalorian was kind of the setting the bar for Star Wars, where it was like longer episodes and stuff.
But they've gotten much shorter since then.
And they've gotten much shorter, yeah. But I guess I didn't think of Game of Thrones and stuff. Game of Thrones, I think, yeah, Game of Thrones probably would have set the bar, because that was the first kind of like, I don't know. I feel like that was kind of like when it was out, because I really didn't watch it on TV until later on, so I don't know how much.
Yeah,
the box sets and stuff, so it was a little different. But
yeah, I didn't watch until like 3 or 4 seasons in, and it's like catching up. It's like, yeah, there were hours. These shows were like an hour long.
I remember watching first and second season. I was just back to back to back, and it was just like a weekend of like Game of Thrones back to back, like so.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Yeah. There were lots of shows before that were hour-long episodes as well, like Prison Break, Sons of Anarchy, etc.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I guess there's all kinds.
24, Lost.
All right. Well, you know what?
If you really want to start getting into it like that.
Well, okay. Anyways, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I agree with you at this point. I mean, as far as Skeleton Crew, so far so good right now. Again, I don't have 100% of a Star Wars feel to it, but I didn't expect it. I came in. I didn't come in with overly high expectations. They've definitely exceeded my expectations so far. So that's a good thing.
It's not a bad thing at all that it doesn't feel like Star Wars completely. You know what I mean?
Right.
Something new. You know?
Yeah, it's meant to be a kid's adventure. It's we're definitely not the technical demographic for it. But hey, you know what? I'm enjoying the hell out of it anyway. And it's good.
Yeah, one thing I want to say is I kind of noticed the runtime thing a little bit less when we don't have the showrunner like going in the media being like, "Oh, these episodes are really short," and stuff, like just making us like, "Oh man, this is gonna be, not good."
That being said, I think they've actually got the runtime for next week, and I think it's 37 minutes.
Okay.
So a little bit longer than the second episode. Definitely not as long as the first.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm not gonna say give this like a full like 10 out of 10 or anything. I'll give it an 8 at this point, maybe. I mean, there's still definitely room for improvement, but it's good so far. And most important thing, I'm looking forward to the next episode. So that's
it, right? As long as it's leaving you wanting more, I think I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Like,
and we gotta start somewhere, and especially after the
The debacle.
the taste that Acolyte left. So yeah, we're starting to work back in the right direction. Keep it up. Maybe find another project for Ford and Watts to work on together. They seem to work well together.
Yeah. If we have no more scenes of like these children actors trying to do physical work, I'm happy with that. Oh man. The fake
really
digging.
grind my gears.
Yeah. But like I said, even like seasoned actors, it just doesn't, it takes me right out of the story, so hopefully they don't have too much more of that.
Okay. So that being said, any last things you guys want to throw in?
No, I'm good.
I hope we do see more stuff like that 5 minutes, like the pirates doing cool stuff.
Oh, I'm sure we'll see something.
I'm sure
yeah.
we'll see a lot of pirate stuff.
Yeah. I don't think we have to worry about that. But
I feel like what's gonna happen, they're gonna take off in the ship and they're gonna go after them, right? So there's gonna be some space boarding and space pirates and everything, man.
I mean, they might disappear for an episode or two, but that I don't see that being much of an issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, that being said, I mean, all right.
Giddy up.
I mean, we've covered the first 2 episodes. We got a couple more coming up before our next episode. Anything else you guys want to throw in overall for Star Wars here, or?
We do have the one news story that we skipped over as it kind of goes.
Special one.
Oh yeah. If you want to throw in, let's get back to that real quick. Because it is something that we didn't bring up while we were talking about it.
Before we talk about this scene here, when this hologram thing started going, I was like, "What the frig is this, man?" It's like, what? And I was like, "Oh man!" And you're like, "Okay, so it's a bunch of elephants watching humans do circus stuff." Oh, okay, so it's like reversed, really, like. Anyways, it was weird.
It was the hashtag Neil Nation. Come on.
I hadn't realized, because honestly, I don't think I've watched this whole holiday special thing, to be honest.
You're number
I
one.
haven't watched it either, as far as like as an adult.
So now I see the image down here, the 1978 holiday special thing, and that's kind of a callback to it, I guess. So
yeah, and also it's worth mentioning before we get into the article that George Lucas was deeply ashamed of that project and absolutely hated it and wanted it erased from history. So yeah.
So that means bring it back, right?
Bring it in. Right. Let's go.
All right. So that being said, I'll jump into the story. And it's out of Star Wars Newsnet, and it's Skeleton Crew, John Watts and Christopher Ford discuss the Star Wars Holiday Special tribute. So it starts with, in the past, when it came to the holiday special, most people, including George Lucas himself, like to just pretend it didn't exist. In case you weren't already familiar with it and were wondering what Neil's siblings were watching in the first episode of Skeleton Crew, or hashtag Neil Nation, that was a direct reference to a sequence from the infamous special. Series creators John Watt and Christopher Ford spoke to StarWars.com about their decision to pay tribute to the holiday special. It goes on to say that the special aired on CBS in 1978. Critics and fans panned it at the time. The reception was so bad that the special has never been re-aired. To this day, one of the only ways to watch it is in full on YouTube, and yes, it is there. An animated sequence that introduced Boba Fett is the only part of the show that has been put on Disney Plus, and most agree that it is the highlight of the special. There are other memorable sequences from the special, though. One such sequence is when Chewbacca's son, Lumpy, watches a yes, that's his name. Watches a holographic circus performance. Watts decided to recreate that scene and was initially unsure whether Lucasfilm would approve of it, saying, quote unquote, "I was worried at some point that we were going to get a call that you can't do that, but everyone was into it. I was really surprised." Ford also explained how fans discovering obscure pieces of Star Wars media actually compared thematically to the characters of Skeleton Crew. He said, again, quote unquote, "For me, it's this thematic thing for the show because for us as kids, we grew up with a certain amount of Star Wars, but you always wanted to know more. You always wanted to find out stuff. And so that's the feeling our characters have going into the Star Wars universe. It fits." And I can see where he says, I can understand that. Originally, Watts wanted to use the actual footage from the special, but this ended up being more difficult than he had anticipated. He said, quote unquote, "It was shot such a long time ago and the angles were all wrong. So we went and got the original wardrobe sketches and rebuilt all of the costumes from scratch."
Oh, wow.
Goodness.
They also had to recreate the score, as no official copy of the soundtrack could be found. The duo added, quote unquote, actually this was Watts. "We couldn't find a copy of the written score, so we had to give it to our composer, McGichino, who then had to transcribe it, figure out what instruments they were playing, and then re-record it." And Christopher Ford said, "And then we also did that with a full orchestra. I think the musicians got a kick out of it." Lastly, it says here, "Despite its infamy, the holiday special has become something of a cult classic among the fandom. It's actually sweet to see old fans get a chance to lovingly pay tribute to it." That being said, I have watched the holiday special. Holy crap! What the hell was George thinking? I 100% understand why George wanted that destroyed. It's awful.
I imagine at the time he was thinking, money, 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 money.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Star Wars had just come out. It was big. But
And then it ended up being funny.
But at the end of the day, if you guys are interested in watching it, I'll sit down and watch it with you guys.
Ooh.
We can make that an episode all its own.
Well, we should do like obviously we can't air it, but we can have us reacting to it, I guess.
Yeah, we can set up a YouTube video of that. And
I mean, I guess I'd be down for that.
At least then we wouldn't feel too bad talking over it and stuff.
Would it cause me to drink after? Like
after? You better be drinking during. You're gonna definitely want to drink during this.
Hold on, guys. Just pause this.
Yeah, bring a case.
Holy crap! What am I watching right now?
What am I?
Yeah, I know I seen it when I was young, but I haven't seen it as an adult. So yeah.
It's an experience, I'll tell you that. But yeah, it's on YouTube. You can watch it in full. I can throw the link up in the Discord at some point if you guys want it. But oh god.
It's something special.
Yeah, you can say that again. Alright, so anything else you guys want to throw in on this one?
No, I'm good, man.
Alright, so that being said, I think that's another episode, guys. We made it through.
We got it.
So looks like our next episode's gonna be the last one of the year. So I guess we'll be
Last
doing
one of the season.
So I guess we'll be covering.
Yeah.
We'll be covering.
Finale.
Yeah, we'll be covering the end of a couple more episodes of Skeleton Crew.
Episodes, yeah.
The year in review, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Or do we want to save that for a gang of?
We could probably do that for the first
For
one of
January.
the season. Yes, first one of season 3.
Awesome. Yeah, so that'll work too. But yeah. Hope you guys are all ready for, to those that come and watch and pay attention. Hope you guys will be ready for, like they said, the season finale of season 2. I don't think I ever thought I'd be saying those words, but it's awesome to say at the same time. Yeah. So before we get to that, Swampgrass, where can we find you, bud?
So I stream on Twitch, playing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, twitch.tv/swampgrass420. Also a little bit of Marvel Strike Force. Not streaming every day like I have for the past few years, just a little here and there, maybe 3 or 4 times a week. Anyways.
5 or 6 or something.
Yeah, I got a little carried away there. Anyways, yeah, so that's where I'm at.
All right, Andy Beads, how about you, bud?
Well, I'm also on Twitch, twitch.tv @Andy_Beads. Thursdays, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and Saturday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern. And we play Marvel Snap card game on the channel. So if you like those kind of games, come on out.
Nice.
What about yourself, Eldor? Where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitch as well, twitch.tv/Darth_Eldor. Trying to get back into my little bit of a social media push. I was also on Twitter, or X as they call it now. And as Andy found out earlier today, I touched my Instagram account for the first time in a year and a half.
I'm like, what are you not calling our channel?
Yeah, he says that. I'm like, it's the first time I've actually gone onto the account in forever. So I don't know if I'll be spending any time on that. I find I'm not a big fan of Instagram, but
I'll take care of that stuff. Don't worry.
But I'll definitely. I still take care of the Twitter stuff. I'm glad to do that. But yeah, you can find me on Twitch. Like I said, I play Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I've also found myself lately playing a lot of Hearthstone again, so I might do a little bit of that as I go. I've been having a lot of fun playing that lately. Yeah, that's about it. So that being said, thank you guys for coming out as always. Definitely check out our social medias. We definitely have our YouTube channel. If you look right here, if you're here on the Twitch channel, if you look right underneath, you have links to our Instagram, Twitter /X page, YouTube channel, and Spotify. I don't know if the Spotify link is there, but if not, I'll definitely make a point to put it there.
It's in the chat. Yeah, we can put it in the YouTube stuff or whatever else.
And there's also a link to our Discord if you guys ever want to join in, come in, ask questions. We're always glad to talk to anyone that wants to talk.
Invite all your friends.
Yeah, exactly. Also on YouTube, we've started doing some YouTube shorts, so hopefully you guys will catch those and maybe watch those. I mean, first one's kind of a fun little Kathleen Kennedy thing that we got going. But
we're gonna clip on for this one.
Yeah, there's a couple things I'm sure we can hit here, but yeah.
And make sure you guys like and subscribe and comment and share. All those things help grow the channel.
Absolutely.
Channel. Rate our Spotify, share it, subscribe anywhere. Anything that helps out the channel. Share us everywhere as you can, please.
And
thank you.
And at the same time,
the more traffic, the more places we get to, the more people can see our show. So.
And at the same time, that's positive or negative. I mean, if you see something that you don't like us doing, and who knows? I mean, sometimes we don't even know that we're doing it wrong, and we can make it better. So
we can take it.
Yeah.
You're not gonna hurt our feelings.
We're not gonna hurt our feelings. No.
You're gonna hurt mine. No. But no, like you said, we're all adults here, so we can definitely handle it. But yeah, definitely check them out.
Hold on here? When's the next show? Would be the 21st, right? Assuming.
Everything going well, it would be the 21st. Yeah.
Okay. I won't be available 21st, but we can talk about that later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Needless to say, we got one more episode for this season.
One more for the season.
Hopefully, we'll get it in somewhere in this mix over the next couple weeks. And on our way to season 3, guys. I'm excited. How about you?
We're turning 3, guys. We're turning 3.
Yeah.
You can tell by our maturity levels.
Yeah. But that being said, I hope you guys all have a good night. Glad to see you as always, and we hope the Force will be with you.